In the description below this video, you will find links that are mentioned in this webinar. The links included are the laws of the game with video examples, a link to download the IFAB app so you can easily access the laws of the game on the go, and an inventory of the Colorado Soccer Association videos that explain each law of the game.
Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Esse Baharmast joining you, and here we have Nate Schatz, Saeed Musabian, and Jimmy Sparkman with us at the CSA office. Thank you so much for joining us for this webinar on the new changes in the laws of the game. Just a couple of things. You have a mute button on your phone or your computer. If you can push that so you are on mute, and then anytime you want to ask a question, just unmute and we can entertain any questions that you might have and try to make it as simple and as easy to understand for everyone.
There's also the chat function in GoToMeeting. If you would like to ask a question via the chat function, you can go ahead and type it. You can make it visible for everyone or send it directly to CSA.
All right, and here we get started. We have 3 links for you that you can see. First one, laws of the game with video examples. This is one that the International Football Association Board has put together, and it's a PowerPoint presentation with some videos. The problem is that it's a little bit too wordy. So that's a good one to look at for the referees who want to know the letter of the law, but not so much for the coaches and players. So what I'm trying to do is make it as simple to understand for everyone to deal with the new changes in the laws of the game. The second one is a good one for everyone to have. It's an app, the IFAB app, and it has the laws and changes, and it's an easy access. You can download this app on your telephone for easy reference at any given time. And I recommend that every referee, every coach, every player downloads this app and they have it handy on their phone in case there's a question or a doubt. The last one is the videos that we have posted on our CSA Vimeo page, and these are videos that I have talked over. So we show the video of what we're trying to explain with the laws and make it very simple. So these videos are no more than a minute in length maximum. So we try to cover all the laws of the game with clear examples, and if you push on those, they're done by laws, and it makes it very simple to understand. If there's any questions on those videos, again, I'm more than happy to receive your questions either via telephone call or email or here today via the webinar that we have. Okay, let's get started. So law 3 about the players. This one's pretty simple. This is about a player who's being substituted must leave the field at the nearest point on the boundary lines. So this means if a player who's being substituted is by the corner flag, they just walk away from by the corner flag, and the player who's coming in just enters the field from the midfield. The only caveat to this would be if there's a security issue, a safety issue, an injury where the player needs to come from the midfield or wherever the referee thinks is the easiest place or the safest place to move. Again, this is done to eliminate time wasting toward the end of the game. If a player is, all the way by the corner flag and the coach wants to make a substitution, that they don't have to come all the way to the technical area. They can just move off the field of play. If there's any questions on this one, this would be a good time to talk. Otherwise, we move on to the next. Okay. The next one is a good change in the law, and this is that before we could not show yellow or red cards to the coaches. And the referee had to go to the bench and tell the coach that they're either receiving a card or they're being sent off. And this was sometimes difficult for a young referee to deal with an adult. So the way it has been changed is that the referee can show a yellow card or show a red card from the middle of the field to the coach, or come closer and keep a distance, and the card can be shown. And if something happens on the bench and we cannot identify who it is, the senior coach is the one who's going to receive the card. So, for example, the team kicks the ball onto the field of play in descent, and now the referee wants to go and caution, and they don't know who it was. If they don't fess up who it was, the coach, the senior coach, is the one who's going to receive the card. And we have 3 videos on this one on the Vimeo page, so it makes it very, very clear how it's supposed to be done. Another change for the powers of the referee is if a penalty kick is awarded and the team's penalty kick taker is injured, they can receive treatment and they don't have to leave the field of play. Before, they had to leave the field of play if they receive treatment. They don't have to leave the field of play as long as that's the player who's going to take the penalty kick. So imagine Cristiano Ronaldo is going into the penalty area, gets tackled, gets injured. The referee brings the trainer to assess the injury. In the past, he had to leave the field. Now he can stay on as long as he's the only one who's going to take the penalty kick. Any questions so far? Okay, so we move on to the next one, Law 8, the start and restart of play. This is something that the team that wins the toss has a choice now. This is something that we used to have in the laws of the game way before. They changed it, and now they have made a change again. So now you have a choice. You win the toss, you decide. You want to kick the kickoff, or you want to decide which goal that you're going to defend. Another one on the restart of play is drop ball. So at this moment, when there's a drop ball for an injury, normally what we do is to give one team and say kick it to the other team, or have 2 players come and contest for the ball. And this causes a lot of problems. So the law has been changed. If it's a drop ball for an injury, so the referee stops play for an injury. If the ball was in the penalty area and the referee stopped it, it will be an uncontested drop ball to the goalkeeper. And everybody else has to be 4 meters away. No matter who had possession of the ball, no matter who had touched the ball, if it's inside the penalty area, uncontested drop ball for the goalkeeper. If it was outside the penalty area and the referee stops for an injury, uncontested drop ball to the team that had possession. So imagine the red team has possession of the ball, the white team player is injured, the referee stops play for the injury to be taken care of. It will be an uncontested drop ball to a player from the red team, with everyone else being 4 meters away. And this eliminates a lot of these problems with the drop ball. The next one with the drop ball is the ball in and out of play, Law 9. At this time, or in the previously, if the ball hit the referee and went to another player, referee was part of the field and we couldn't do anything about it. And that is not fair. So now if the ball hits the referee and either goes into a goal or possession changes or an attacking move starts, the referee can stop play, blow the whistle, and have an uncontested drop ball to the team that had possession of the ball last, the team that had touched the ball last. So for example, if the white team is playing the ball hits the referee, goes to the yellow team, referee can stop and have a drop ball for the white team, uncontested, with everyone 4 meters away. Any questions so far? Okay. Now we move to the Law 10, determining the outcome of a match, that the goalkeepers cannot score by throwing the ball into an opponent's goal. I have never seen a goalkeeper throw the ball from one goal to another, but it might happen in a smaller field. So this is just to keep it clear that the goalkeeper can score a goal by punting the ball, by kicking the ball, but not by throwing it with the hand into the opponent's goal. Then we go to fouls and misconducts, and this has to do with handling the ball. Handling the ball is one that is a little bit tricky. So some concepts that we have to keep in mind. And this is where the videos on the Vimeo that we are showing will make it so much easier for everyone to take a look and decide what is a handball, what is not a handball. So handling the ball becomes an offense if the player deliberately touches the ball with their hand or arm. So the ball is, imagine a hand of God Maradona. Imagine a Thierry Henry handball where the ball is there and the hand goes to the ball. So this is deliberately touching the ball with their hand or arm. What FIFA has done, talking about gaining possession and control of the ball after it has touched the hand, and then this is that FIFA says that a goal that is scored by hand, nobody will understand it and nobody likes it. In football, we should not have a goal that is scored by hand. So this is more of a attacking situation type of handball. If the ball touches the hand and now ends up in the back of the goal, so the player scores in the opponent's goal, the referee doesn't have to look at deliberate or not deliberate, accidental or not accidental. That would be considered a handball. And we have a good video of this one on Vimeo. It's a goal scored by Neymar where he heads the ball and the ball glances off of his hand and goes into the goal. In the past, there might have been some discussion. Was it deliberate? Was it not deliberate? Now it's automatically a handball because the ball came off of hand and was scored. Same thing with creating a goal-scoring opportunity. An attacker, the ball hits the hand, whether deliberate or not deliberate. Now a goal-scoring opportunity is created. That would be deemed a handball. So these videos make it a lot easier for everyone to see handling by an attacker. It's also a handball if the hand or arm makes the body bigger. So as long as the hand is in natural position, it's okay. But the moment the hands make the body bigger, that is more interpretation of a deliberate handball. Also, if the hand or arm is above or beyond the shoulder level. Exactly the same way that you cannot be standing in a defensive wall and put your hands up in the air and make the body bigger and then put your hands up. That would be a handball. Same type of thing. We have a good video on Vimeo. You'll see a situation where Piqué of Spain has his back, a header is done, and the ball hits his hand. And now the laws of the game make that very clear that even though he wasn't looking at the ball, even though he had his back to the ball, even though the ball came from a short distance, because he had his hands above his shoulder and raised in an unnatural position, that would be a deliberate handball. Then we have some videos that shows it's not an offense if the ball comes from the player's own body and then touches the hand. So we have a video from Argentina where the defender is trying to head the ball and the ball comes from the head and to the hand, and that should not be a handball. Same thing that a player is trying to clear the ball, kicks the ball, and now the ball hits their own hand. So it's a defender who's trying to clear the ball out of the penalty area, and the ball hits the hand. So that would not be a handball because it doesn't make any sense for a defender who's trying to clear the ball to hit their own hand and to create a deliberate handball. When a player falls, and this is one little bit tricky, when a player falls and the hand is between the body and the ground to support the body. So a player who's going down on the ground, maybe for a tackle, and the hand is in a support position, only to break the fall, and the ball happens to touch the hand, it will normally not be considered a handball. If the hand is stretched and makes the body bigger, then that's a different story, and that becomes a handball. After a throw-in or a deliberate pass, so right now or previously, if the ball came directly from a throw-in, or a defender passed the ball to the goalkeeper could not pick up the hand. That would be a pass back. That would be an indirect free kick. And let's say the goalkeeper miskicked it or tried to clear the ball, had no intention of handling the ball. And now the ball goes to and they miskick it, and the ball starts going toward the goal. And now they go and make a save. In the past, that would have been an indirect free kick or a deliberate pass back and handball. Now, as long as the goalkeeper is trying to kick the ball, as long as they're trying to play the ball, and now they miskick it, misplay it, and the ball starts going toward the goal, and they go and stop the ball to the hand, it is not an infraction anymore. And again, we have a couple of videos on the Vimeo that shows this very clearly, what should not be called a handball. This next one, referee delaying issuing a yellow card or red card until next stoppage of play. So this is, for example, a player is going on goal and is tackled in a reckless manner. Previously, the referee would stop play and nobody could have a quick free kick because the referee had to show the yellow card. If the referee wanted to show the yellow card, there was no quick free kick. This has been changed, and again, you will see an example. If the team decides to put the ball down quickly and have a quick free kick to start a goal-scoring opportunity, the referee can always come back now and show the yellow card. In the past, if the team started play right away, the referee would not allow it. Now the referee can allow it to happen and then always come back and show the yellow card for the reckless tackle. Or if it was a red card type of situation, again, same thing, to show the red card. This is the yellow card for an illegal goal celebration. Remains even if the goal is disallowed. This would be a player who scores a goal, takes the shirt out completely over the head, and that's an automatic yellow card. And now let's assume that the goal is nullified for offside or whatever the case may be. Just because the goal is nullified, the yellow card is not nullified. The yellow card is still given to a player who scored a goal, thought it was a good goal, but because the goal is nullified, he received a yellow. All verbal offenses are punished by an indirect free kick. So this would be if a player says something to the referee, it's inside the penalty area, it is not a penalty kick. If the referee stops to give a yellow card for dissent, if it's an indirect free kick. So all verbal offenses are punished with an indirect free kick. Now we go to Law 13, and let me ask you if there's any questions, or are we pretty clear so far?
Esse, I'd like to ask a question if I could.
Sure, please.
So a couple of questions on the handling situation or the handball situation. For instance, let me give you one thought here. If a defender is kicking the ball, for instance, let's say his chest is facing his own goal, trying to bring the ball back up over his head to clear it out from, say, around the penalty spot. Goes to clear it out, one of the hands, and almost typically every one of these situations, the hands is almost 90 degrees out from the shoulder. Goes to clear it with the foot. The ball then hits an arm that's clearly 90 degrees out from the shoulder. Is that still considered not a handball now? Correct.
And if you take a look at on the Vimeo that we have there, we have two examples of exactly what you talked about now. Okay. We have those videos, and there is one exact situation that you described. The defender is facing his own goal, is trying to kick the ball back, and the ball hits the hand, and that's an example of not a handball. And another one is a defender who's facing with the back to the goal, tries to kick the ball, and as they're falling down, they kick the ball's coming overhead, but the hand is an unnatural position, is above the head, and now the ball from the foot goes to the hand, and that one is also not a handball. So we have two good videos of examples of this on our Vimeo that we have there, and that pretty much shows it exactly the question that was brought up. That's very good.
So even unnatural hand positions don't matter in those cases because it's just seemed to be more of a deflection type. We don't want to punish the defender in that situation.
Exactly, because the defender is the one that is trying to clear the ball. The defender is making an attempt to actually play the ball. They have no intention of using the hand. The hand just happens to be part of the body, and the first contact is made with the foot. If the first contact was made directly with the hand, that's a different story. Now that the hand is an unnatural position.
Okay, and Sorry, and would the same thing apply then for heading the ball? So they go up on a corner kick to try to head the ball away. A lot of those defenders like to throw their arms up in the air as well while they're doing it. They go to head the ball that hits the head first, but the arms even above the head heads it. It still hits an arm, their own arm afterwards, but because it hit their head first, it's now no longer a handball. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. So the defenders are heading the ball, but the hand just happens to be there to give them a little bit of lift to go up in the air. So the ball comes from the head first, and another hits the hand. That would not be considered a deliberate handball. So that would be no infraction.
Okay. And then final question. It was maybe a year or two ago, you did a great seminar on handling with regards to during a slide tackle, for instance. A defender is going to slide tackle. He's sliding, putting one of his arms is behind him, or slightly maybe still under the body, and the ball is played back by the attacking player into that hand that would have normally been something like a cross. Is that no longer considered a handball, or is that now?
As long as the hand is straight down as a support, not a hand that is outstretched.
It's trailing, essentially, in this case.
To make the body bigger, exactly. So that would be a hand that is between the body and the ground to support the body.
Okay. So would you say we should take the vertical plane of the player's body straight down to the ground? If the hand is beyond that, then we should consider that a hand?
That's pretty much trying to keep it honest. Keep it so the player doesn't say, okay, I came to a sliding tackle and now I can make both my hands stretch as long as possible. So putting a little bit of that responsibility and that risk on the defender who's coming down to go into a tackle. As long as the hand is there to support the body, not fully outstretched, not making the body bigger, then it would be not a handball.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Now, I have a question for clarification, please.
Sure.
I understand the defender heads the ball, hits the hand, and we continue. It's not the same story, though, if it's the offensive person and it creates a goal-scoring opportunity, or if it goes in the goal still, correct?
Exactly. So the attackers are treated a little bit more different. So attackers, if the contact is made with the hand, no matter how, accidental, not accidental, attackers are punished with a handball because FIFA says that they don't want to see a goal scored that comes from the hand or creates a goal scoring opportunity. So for an attacker is any type of contact that goes to the hand and now creates a goal scoring opportunity or a goal will be considered a handball. For the defenders, we're still looking at more of a deliberate, was it on purpose, was it deliberate act? So the defensive handball is a little bit treated differently than an offensive handball, an attacking handball.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, we have also a couple of...
I have a question, actually, and it's not about handling, it's about the quick restarts on the yellow card, red card situation.
Yes, please.
The video that you show is that's given as an example, is a great example of how the team could benefit, right? Because they clearly score a goal.
Correct.
But what happens in the situation? So say, for example, the same play that they show in the video occurs, except for the keeper makes the save, and now we have a counter attack going the other direction. So
you
now the defending team now would, if I was going to send that player off, that the team that transitioned from defense to attack now is playing with an extra player who should be off the field and so I'm forced to allow the player to play or allow that player to play. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know your dilemma that you're talking about here. So what you have to do is either wait for the ball goes out of bounds, or there's another foul that happens, or a goal scored, and it can be a good goal, not a problem. Then you come back and you punish the original foul that happened, that would have been a yellow card. And I would advise against on a red card. So we don't want to do this on a red card unless the ball is about to go directly into the goal. I would not do it on a red card. Only on yellow card situations when possible. Never say never. Possible that on a red card you can do it, 1 in a million, but I would not advise allowing this to happen on a red card situation.
I guess I envision, like, if play continues, if you have two higher level teams and play continues 4 or 5 minutes, and then you're going back to something 5 minutes ago and sending a player off.
Yep,
you're going to run
that's a risk that this change in the law creates. I'm 100% with you. And again, everybody has refereed at the highest level, and then you have to decide, was it still a yellow card for you? Was it really that big of a yellow card, or something that you have decided that, you know, too much time has gone by? That I cannot tell. But that's a risk that this law presents.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. A couple of other questions we have. The problem with some of the handling videos is that they're not always clear whether they illustrate things that are or not offenses. This is the problem with the handball. Handball is one that until the law changes and it says any contact with the hand is a handball, we still have to use discretion. And we have to use the discretion about, was it making the body bigger? Was it deliberate? Was the hand above the head? All of those things. So it's a little bit more clear, little bit more easier to apply, but not 100%. So I understand that. Howard Furman, foul and abusive language is an indirect freaking in penalty area since it is verbal, or does it remain a PK? No, a foul and abusive language is verbal, so that cannot be a penalty kick. So indirect free kick for foul and abusive language, you can always send off the player with the red card, but because it's not a physical foul, it's verbal, it's an indirect free kick.
That's a duplicate.
Okay.
Okay, this one right here.
How does the defender handball not now being an offense possibly prevent what would have been penalties, i.e. defender can make more risk with hands? Not really. So what you are looking is, if the defender's playing the ball and the ball comes from their own body. So I'm a defender. I try to clear the ball. I make contact with the ball. I kick the ball. And now the ball hits my hand. That is not a handball. Different than when I try to come and play the ball and now my hand makes contact with the ball and my hand is in an unnatural position. My hand is in an unnatural position, makes my body bigger. Again, if you look at on our Vimeo site, the videos that we have shown, handball, making the body bigger, handball, PK, above the shoulder, those are still handball. Those have not changed. And then we give a couple examples of not making the body bigger. And it's in the penalty area. So the more you look at it, the more the concept of handball becomes easier to grasp. And again, this is something that we cannot solve 100%. Exactly like offside, when interfering with an opponent, you still have some judgment, whether the player was in front of the goalkeeper, whether they impacted the movement of the goalkeeper. Still some judgment is left in handball. They have tried to make it more clear, give some examples, but we are not 100% for sure. Okay? We're good? All right. So now let's go to Law 13 free kicks. For the defending team free kicks, and we have a video of this one as well on the Vimeo. The attacker commits a foul. In the penalty area, the attacking team commits a foul. So the defending team has a free kick inside their own penalty area. In the past, if they played the ball had to clear the penalty area. If the ball was played inside the penalty area and another player touched it, the referee would have blown the whistle and say, retake, the ball did not clear the penalty area. Not anymore. The ball can be touched inside the penalty area, off of a free kick. You can even have a short kick, two players side by side, and play. The caveat could be that the opponents, the attacking team that committed the foul, they either have to be outside the penalty area, 10 yards away, or if they happen to be inside the penalty area and they didn't have time to go, they cannot press and come toward the ball. They can move. So this video that we have actually that shows this one with the quick free kick on video is a good one to look, because you will see that there's an attacker inside the penalty area, but no impact, does not do anything, does not come toward the ball, and this way the referee can allow a quick free kick to be taken, and the ball is touched inside the penalty area, and all is good. Another one that has to do with free kicks. If there's a defensive wall with minimum of 3 players or more, so of at least 3 players, all attacking team players must be at least 1 meter from the wall. So you saw the pushing and shoving that was going on in the penalty areas when there was a free kick. So there's a free kick, and what happens? Normally there's an attacker who's getting inside, pushes, shoves, and all kinds of tussle going on. To eliminate this, anytime there's a defensive wall and there are minimum of 3 players in the wall, not 2, but 3 or more, no attacker can be near that wall unless they are 1 meter to the side, 1 meter in front, or 1 meter behind to create the space so this pushing and shoving and holding does not occur. Is that clear? Any questions on that?
Yeah, Esse, I had just one question on the situation where there is a direct free kick restart by the defending team from within their own penalty area. If the attacking team player who did not have time to get out of the way, if you will, or get out of the box, does turn and make an effort to play the ball from within the area, then is that an indirect free kick start from that spot because the ball is in play from the time it's touched, or how are we doing that?
Yeah, the referee always has a couple of options here. They can always bring it back as a retake, or saying they're not respecting the distance and give a yellow card. So those options are there. Okay. Same as a free kick where the player does not respect the distance. So those are the 2 options.
Okay, again, so I'm just kind of envisioning that play where the guy is kind of sheepishly walking with his head, looking back, and once the ball's played, the guy's taken one dribble, then he stays within the box and turns and comes and gets him. I mean, clearly the ball was in play at that point, so you don't really want to bring it back and give that same restart. You probably want to go to an indirect free kick then, right?
Exactly. So we have to read this because, again, this law is going to be new for players, for referees. There's going to be a little bit of trial and error for everybody to understand it. So let's go with the basic. If they are not doing this on purpose, they are not doing it, it's just not knowing the law. Part of our job is also to educate the players, the coaches, and everybody to understand. Now, if we know that they're doing it on purpose and this was to stop a quick counterattack because the team was going to go on a counter, you always have the option of giving the card for not respecting the distance. Okay, any other questions on that? All right, good. Now we go to penalty kicks. And again, we have a video on this one. The goalkeepers cannot touch the goalpost, crossbar, and the nets when they're moving. Okay? So if that happens and the goalkeeper is hanging from the crossbar or touches the net and it's shaking and it's moving, the referee has to not give the signal, wait for the shaking of the nets and the crossbar to stop, tell the goalkeeper, don't have to go with the yellow card immediately and automatically tell them, again, we are trying to teach, tell the goalkeeper you cannot do this anymore. You can't touch it. You're trying to intimidate the kicker. No more of this. If this continues as a persistent type of thing, you can always go and show a yellow card for unsporting behavior. But let's not go with the yellow card immediately. You can wait for it. You can wait for the shaking of the net to stop, tell the goalkeeper not to do it again, and continue forward. This is something that those of you who watched the World Cup, the second one, when the ball is kicked, the defending goalkeeper must have at least part of 1 foot or on the line with the, or in line with the goal line. And again, we are not, we don't have VAR. We cannot see whether the goalkeeper moved, you know, half an inch or 1 inch or 2 inches, or there was green space or not green space. So this we have to also control. The goalkeepers a lot, before they had to have both feet on the line. Now they can have 1 foot off the line and 1 foot on the line. So they've been given a little bit of leeway. Our advice is to remind the goalkeeper, prevent it, let them know, look, you know, if you come out forward and you save this ball and it's clear and I can see, not only I have to take this, you save it or the ball's missed, not only we have to retake it, but then you will also receive a yellow card. And you don't want to do that. So try to prevent as much as we can, talking to the goalkeepers, because if that ball is saved or the kick is missed, it will be a retake, and the goalkeeper who moved off the line before the ball was kicked will receive a yellow card. Any question on this one?
Yeah, Esse, just one clarifying point. It says in line on this
Yes.
specific document with the goal line. Does that mean that does the foot actually have to be on the ground or just in the plane with the goal line?
In the plane. So as long as the foot is in the plane or on the line, that is fine, and that's just 1 foot. So the other foot can be in front, even one yard, not a problem. But 1 foot has to be either on the plane of the line of the goal or on the line. And again,
So
prevention with the goalkeepers is the way to go. And really, if we don't have VAR, this is not so easy to be able to see a minuscule movement, you know, so that we're not looking for. So again, with a little bit of common sense, the same way that, you know, we don't punish goalkeepers for holding on the ball for 7 seconds. I haven't seen it, and it shouldn't be done, really. We're using a little bit of common sense. This is also, you know, let's go with common sense. We're just trying to make sure that the goalkeeper movement doesn't go in the way that we had before, where the goalkeeper will be out of the penalty area maybe 3 meters or 4 meters and making the save. And that's why basically this law was put in here.
Okay, so just one hypothetical example. A goalkeeper starts to dive well before the kick is taken, but in the air, diving to his right, his left foot is over the line the entire time. That would not be an infringement then, correct? Because the foot is still above the plane of the goal line?
That's correct. At the moment when the ball is kicked, and again, we have a video of this on the Vimeo that shows really a great save that's done, and it shows that it can be done, where you can see the goalkeeper's foot just on the line, and that picture pretty much shows it. Again, we don't have VAR. You know, we have to use a little bit of common sense. We're not trying to, you know, bring something back that was 2 centimeters or 3 centimeters, but really deal with this with prevention, and also the ones that are clear to everyone that the goalkeeper moved before.
Okay.
Okay. Next one, the throw-in. Opponents must be at least 2 meters from the point of the throw-in on the touchline, even if the thrower is way back from the line. So this is just to create a 2 meter space where the defenders can stand on a throw-in for safety issues. So even though the attacker, the one who's throwing the ball, maybe 5 meters from the line to make this throw, the defender cannot be standing on the line and say, okay, I'm keeping my 2 meters distance from him. So they need to be from the point where it's being taken 2 meters back. And finally, this last one, the goal kick, and we have video on this one as well. At the goal kicks, the ball is in play once it's kicked and clearly moves. it doesn't have to leave the penalty area anymore. And we have a video of this one on Vimeo as well. The only caveat would be the opponents must be outside the penalty area until the ball is in play. Again, same like that free kick that the defending team took. The ball is in play as soon as it's being kicked. If the attacker is outside the penalty area, it's all clear. So the moment the ball leaves, attacker who's outside the penalty area can come inside and play the ball. The defenders can touch the ball inside the penalty area. They can stand right next to the goalkeeper. The moment the ball is played from the goalkeeper to a defender who's 1 meter, 2 meters away from them inside the penalty area, it's all good. As long as, the attackers are outside the penalty area, or if it's a quick goal kick, and the attacker did not have a chance to move outside, we can allow it to go on, just like we saw with the free kick, as long as that attacker is not coming to press the ball, as long as they don't have an impact on the ball, playing up the ball, and the play will be good. So those are the changes in the laws. The videos on Vimeo site that we've put very much explain what the intent of the law is, gives you good visual examples. And if there is any questions, I am more than happy to meet with clubs, with coaches, with players. Any doubts, we are more than happy. I've had 2 sessions already, one with the Real Edge, which was a fantastic meeting with the coaches, and we showed the videos. And again, last night with the Colorado Springs Pride, and really a good meeting. As you can see, a lot of new changes in the law. A lot of it will be new for players, coaches, and also referees. So I'm asking the coaches to please be understanding, be helping out. All of us are going through this with the, I don't want to say trial and error, but we're all learning. And those of you who saw, even in the Women's World Cup, we had to use these new changes in the law, and it was not easy. It was not an easy thing to do with a short amount of time that the changes in the law have come in for the players. But those teams, they knew ahead of time in December, so they had practiced for almost 6 months. They knew that the changes were coming. So for us, it's a short amount of time, but again, we had the benefit of watching the Women's World Cup, seeing some of these changes in effect, and we start these, and they go into effect on August 24th, mostly for the leagues. And in your tournaments, you can use them. It's optional if you're going to use them or not. And hopefully, it's clear. The majority of these laws are really to make the game faster, to make it a little bit more fair, a little bit easier to understand. Initially, with every change, it's a little bit difficult, but I think once we get our hands around it, these are good changes for the game. If there's any questions, any doubts, again, if in situations during games something happens and you have doubt, you are not sure, all you have to do is send us an email, pick up the phone and call us. Just let me know. Go to the Colorado Soccer website. We have all of our contacts, and we'll be more than happy to meet again with the clubs, with the parents, with the coaches, with the players, show videos, make it as simple as possible for everybody to understand and get their hands around these new changes that will be coming for everybody.
Is there a place that we can get hold of this document?
This document, we can actually, what I have put for you, the IFAB app, Laws and Changes Easy Access. A lot of these, you can see it there. So if you download that app, you will see these wordings. If not, we can also put it on our website. So so you have this as well. That is not a problem. We can have it on the website.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. Any other questions? Okay, and looks like we're all good. Thank you so much for joining us, and I wish you all the best in the upcoming season. Coaches, please work with the referees. We're all in this thing together, and we help the game grow in Colorado, and you are a major part of it. And referees, please also extend the same courtesy to the coaches, always with respect, and together we will have a wonderful, wonderful atmosphere for the players to enjoy the game that we all love. Thank you.